Good afternoon. Today I'm here interviewing Jane B. Ford, owner of the Joy Path. Jane, welcome. Thank you so much for meeting with me.
You're welcome, Lisa. This is fun.
Excellent. I wanted to say if you could tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, the Joy Path is a business that I created when I decided that retirement wasn't for me. I had retired after 30 years working in the nonprofit world and doing some individual work with people as a life and business coach. And I didn't like retirement at all. So I thought, well, what if I create a business only doing those things that I liked best in my 30 plus years in the workforce? And so I am a speaker, a teacher, a writer, and I guide individuals and nonprofits on their road to prosperity.
How do you work with nonprofits now with the Joy Path?
Right now I work, and I've always focused my work on small to mid-sized nonprofits, mostly community-based nonprofits, some faith-based nonprofits. In other words, not so much like with the United Way or Red Cross, wonderful organizations, but I really like working with the more grassroots organizations. And it depends. I do a lot of workshops, board workshops, particularly in the area of fundraising, introducing the idea to board members of, it's fun to raise money. And with executive directors, I do some management consulting. I do coaching of particularly new people in the fundraising field, because fundraising isn't rocket science, and anyone who's passionate about a cause can learn how to do it.
In your efforts and engagement with these different nonprofits through the Joy Path, have you seen any trends in successful nonprofits?
There very clearly are trends, and I would say one of the biggest ones is how they were created. Those nonprofits, and I look at something, I used to work for a national housing nonprofit and created housing nonprofits across the country. And we had a particular pattern of how you created them. It was, we had books, we had manuals. First you do this, then you do this, then you do this. So by the time it's created, it has a strong board of directors in place. It has good human resource policies in place. It has fundraising policies in place and a very strong mission. So if an organization is created based on a strong mission, a strong board, and good management structures, it has a much longer chance of survival. Two of the organizations I created, one was 1980, one was 1985, and they both have grown and expanded based on that. At the same time, I saw organizations that were created very quickly. Board thrown together, this happened, that happened. It's much harder for them to recover from a failure.
Is recovery possible then?
Yeah, I've seen recovery possible. Mission is key. And when I teach grant writing particularly, we always focus. The first thing is the mission. If you really know what your purpose is, and then the second thing is you have a committed group of individuals to help you, then you can recover. It takes some time, but I've seen big organizations fail and come back, and I've seen small ones. But again, it's the focus on the mission, the vision, and the people.
Now, you have some exciting news, don't you, for a certain book?
My upcoming book, for many years, people have said to me, you're a really great teacher of how to put together grant proposals. There are so many people that could benefit from your knowledge. Write a book. Well, writing a book seemed a bit overwhelming to me. And then my life took a change in my personal life where my husband became ill and I had a lot more time at home. And this was the time to write that book. So over the past year, I have distilled my 30 years of knowledge in the field and grant seeking and teaching, and have put together a book that will be published by Author House within the next month. The final galleys went in. I'm very excited about it because there are a lot of grant writing books out there. And even the term grant writing is a misnomer because we don't write grants. We seek grants. Hopefully they give grants to us. So I had trouble struggling with the name for the book. So I ended up calling it Get Grants Now. But it's the subtitle that's important because it's a guide for nonprofit board members, volunteers, and staff. I firmly believe that anyone who's passionate about an organization and has time can put together a solid proposal. And that's who this book is for, is someone who maybe has some time in their hands, they want to help their nonprofit, they can start at the beginning, step by step, put together a solid proposal. And so can staff of the organization.
Will it be ready for the October 22nd event?
It's going to be my hope is that it will be there.
and could possibly purchase a signed copy from
Yes,
the author.
absolutely.
And finally, Jane, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us your top 3 tips for nonprofits to be successful.
The first one has to be clarity about your mission. If you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, it's not going to get any kind of support. It may in the short term. First chapter of the book talks about mission, being clear about the mission, because I've seen so many small nonprofits chase the dollars. Oh, they want this kind of a program, well, we'll create it. Oh, we'll fund this, we'll do that. And they get so far away from the mission, they lose it. So I think that's the very first key. The second one is a carefully created and educated board of directors. It's very important that board members come on knowing what their responsibilities are. I've been asked to be on boards, and the first thing I'll say to them, well, how much is it going to cost? And they said, what do you mean? I said, well, the primary purpose of boards is to raise money and to manage the money. And then you guide the organization with that. And I expect if I'm going to join a board, I will know how much is the expected donation. 90% of the small and mid-sized profits don't have an answer to that question, because they haven't been developed as a board who understands. Yes, they give time and talent, but they also need to give money and manage money. So creating your board carefully and providing ongoing education is the second point. And then I think the third point is a very strong focus on community. Now, your community is different. A housing group may have a combination of banks, businesses, and local residents. An arts organization may have a focus of the arts community plus the people they serve. Every organization serves different communities, but you have to have that clarity about who are you serving.
All right, well, is there anything else that you'd like to add that I didn't really discuss?
I think the only thing I want to add is to encourage people to attend this event. One of the things I find when I'm working, and have been for 30 years, with small nonprofits, is most training events are very expensive, they're at a distance, they're very broad, and it's harder for the staff of smaller nonprofits to attend these. This is an opportunity that's fairly local, that's only going to take half a day, and I know all of the trainers, and I know that it's going to be an amazing opportunity. So I would encourage everyone who hears this to attend.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Jane.
You're welcome, Lisa. See you there.
Great.